Back to Trethewey. Trethewey shoots it in. Back to Trethewey again. Trethewey goes in and shoots. And that's saved by the Omaha goalie. Back to, can't see, nice hit by Woodsy. Goes back out to the neutral zone. Hall takes that in. And we go for a line change. Omaha starts bringing that up, chips that up the boards. And in goes Hewitt. Nice hit by Hewitt. That goes back to Stern. Stern over to Howe. And Howe driving that up the side. And Howe nailed into the boards. Puck into the end. And that's caught by Evans. Evans over to Mosky. Mosky shot and goes wide. Howe nails that. Goes back to Stern. Stern dumps that in. The board goes back around the boards. Hewitt keeps that in. Mosky goes in, chases. Hewitt has it behind the net. Hewitt hit into the boards, and Omaha sends it down, and this is going to be an icing call. 12:59 left in the first period, 0-0 hockey game. We get a new change of line here. Hall and Briggs on D. And up front is Woodsy. And I can't see the other numbers at the moment. Woodsy chips that back. Omaha gains control, sends it around the boards. Omaha starts driving that up the ice. They send that up through the neutral. Puck loose, picked up by Briggs. Briggs chips it up the boards. And shot on net, puck loose in front, and Luca grabs that. So DePietri out there on wing. Hall and Briggs working together, battling behind the net. In goes Woodsy. Woodsy helping out. Briggs covering the front of the net. And here goes the Penguins on the rush. Get back up to Woodsy on the rush. And shot in the net. Briggs keeps it up at the point. Shot. Woods tried to get a shot off. He did. And puck is saved. And is that a goal? No, no goal. Puck at the side of the net. Puck is dropped. Trethewey, nice hit from Trethewey. That keeps the puck in. Goes back to Jukesy. Jukesy sends it back around. Koussis picks up the puck. Dodges a hit. Gets that back to Trethewey. Trethewey driving that in. Trethewey goes right up all the way through. He shot towards the net, goes above. And that finally goes in. That opens up the scoring. 1-0. And looks like Koussis got that goal. Great job, Koussis. Puck will be dropped back here at the middle of the ice. Jukesy pushes it forward with Snyder and Koussis. Howe hits a player. Puck goes up. Briggs with a shot. In goes Koussis. Koussis gets it up to Woodsy. Goes back to Howe. Howe chips it back in. Chips up front, goes Mooney. Mooney driving up the ice. Mooney drives it in, goes around behind the net. And Omaha starts breaking out. That goes back. It's there's no Wi-Fi. There's no. Yeah. No, there's no Wi-Fi. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to record the game, and then can you send a note to the team? Just say there's no live feed. Can I get your help to send a note? Yeah, just there's no Wi-Fi. But I'm trying to call a game now, and then I'll post it. I'll post it right after. McKenzie dumps it, and in goes Evans. Evans driving it in. Mosky back to Howe. Gets it back up to Mosky, but that gets intercepted in by Omaha. Omaha driving that up. Howe driving that up the ice. Chips that up into the neutral zone. And Omaha, puck loose and in the front of the net. That gets stopped by the traffic, and Mosky to Evans. Evans driving that up back up to Hewitt. And Hewitt driving that up the ice, back to Evans. Nice passing. And Stern on the ice with Briggs now. Stern, shot towards the net, back to Hewitt. Hewitt tried to deflect that in. Goes wide. Hewitt dumps that back behind the net to Mosky. Mosky, shot and in. So nice passing by this forward line here. Evans, Mosky, and Hewitt. And that makes 2-0 at 8:49 left in the first period. Puck is dropped. McKenzie tries to dump it in. And Omaha turns that around. Picked up now by Hall behind the net. Hall with a hit. McKenzie chips it up the boards. Chips it ahead to DiPietro. DiPietro driving that up the ice. DiPietro driving. Briggs chips in. Briggs shot towards the net. That gets caught in traffic. And Briggs keeps it in again. Dumps it in. And in goes. That gets picked up by Briggs again. And back up to McKenzie. McKenzie driving that in. McKenzie shot. Pad. Rebound. And Snyder drives that in. Snyder trying to get that around the boards. And hit by Jukes. Goes back to Stern. Stern chips it up. This is quite a physical game so far. Omaha comes in. Jukes with a hit. And shot. Koussis comes up, drives it up the ice. And Koussis on the break. Backhands it towards the net. Goes back to Treadaway. Treadaway with a slap shot. Shot towards the net. And that goes wide. Picked up now by Jukes. He sees Koussis up front here. Headbands it to Koussis. Koussis dumps it in. Goes for the change. In goes McKenzie. McKenzie picks it up behind the net. And chip in there by Mooney. To McKenzie. We got Woodsy out there as well. McKenzie picks that up. Over to Mooney. And that goes back to Treadaway. Shot towards the net. Treadaway goes for a change. Briggsy comes out. Briggsy chips it in. And Mosky Picks that up. Mosky driving that back up the ice. Mosky to Mooney. And Mooney trying to stick handle that into Woodsy. And they do get that out. Mooney facing off. Mooney gets it back to Howe. Howe chips it in. Omaha trying to get it out of their zone. Omaha takes that around the ice. And Hewitt to Briggsy. Briggsy with a shot, and that hits the, looks like the top of the goalie's stick and up into the net. .550 left in the first period. Evans facing off. Evans back to Briggsy. Briggsy with a shot and right to the back of the net. And that makes it 3-0 Penguins. And nice pass off the face-off and nice clear shooting lane for Briggs and results in a goal. 5:47 left in the third, or left in the first. Mooney getting ready to face off. Back to Briggs. Briggs up to DiPietro. Mooney with a hit. Briggs bringing that up the ice. Gets that over to, can't see who 21 is, but gets that up to Mooney. Mooney driving that up the ice. Mooney dodges a hit. And Omaha starts taking that back up the ice. Treathaway with a hit. And Treathaway picks up that puck. And Treathaway starts driving that up the ice. Treathaway with Mooney. And goes back to Mooney. Mooney comes around the net. And shot on net. Saved by the Omaha goalie. Omaha starts bringing that up the ice. Nice stick check there by Hall. Hall gets... Nice cut back by Jukes. Sends that up to Snyder. Snyder across to Kusis. And Kusis starts driving that up the ice. Puck goes back. Snyder chips that up the boards. Tried to get that up to Kusis. That's stopped by the Omaha D, and Omaha sends it into the zone. Picked up now by Stern. Stern chips that up the boards. Stern, stick handling that, chips that up the glass. Goes up to the center. Jukes goes for the change. Omaha on the break now. Nice stick check from Howe. He gets that up to Kusis, and McKenzie. McKenzie starts driving that up the ice. Headbands that to Mooney. Mooney cycles that around behind the net. Out front, goes back to Stern. Stern, shot towards the net. Pad saved by the Omaha goalie. Picked up now by Woodsy. Woodsy gets that back to Mooney. Mooney, McKenzie. They're battling. That goes back to Stern. Stern over to Howe. Howe driving that up the ice. Sends that to McKenzie. McKenzie. Shot, rebound. Evans with a shot, and big save by the Omaha goalie. 3-0. It's 3:02 left in the first period. Mosky brings it out front, heads to Evans. Evans shot. That gets blocked. Some good passing. That goes into Hall. Hall with a shot goes wide. Briggsy gets nailed into the boards, and Omaha starts taking that back out. Hall does get that out of the zone. That causes delayed offside. Goes back to Briggsy. Briggsy trying to get that out of the zone, and Hewitt rushing in. Here's Briggs going up the ice. Briggs headman's at. And Briggs gets it again. Up to Evans. And Evans dumps it and goes for the change. Picked up by the Penguins. He headman to Trethewey. Trethewey starts driving that up the ice. And Trethewey rates in and into the net. And it's given a little bit extra push there by that was by DiPietro. So I don't know if DiPietro or Trethewey got awarded with that goal. That goes back. Howe driving that in. And chip back in. Goes back to Howe. Shot towards the net from the point, and DiPietro checked on that one play. And Howe sends that up the boards. That does go back to the D and goes back. Howe takes another look. And Boy's trying to get this out now. Howe chips that up the boards. And that goes up through to Snyder, and that goes into the end zone. Chased in by Snyder now. And Omaha starts driving that back the other way. Briggsy tries to go in for the hit. And that's the end of the first period. And end 4-0. So Penn's coming on super strong this period. Omaha brings that up. Shot from the Omaha point. Big save by Torriero. Koussis trying to drive that puck up now. Koussis driving the puck up and backhands it in. And Omaha breaking out again. Omaha driving down the ice. Omaha goes wide. Shot. Torriero with the pad save. Mooney picks it up right away. Starts driving that up the ice. And Mooney with the Jets there. He's able to get right around. Take a look. And goes back in. And shot towards the net. And that's stopped by the Omaha goalie. No rebound on that. 13:55 left in the second period. Mooney coming around. Mooney. Pass, tried to get that out to McKenzie. McKenzie with a nice deflection from the shot from Trotherway from point. Mooney driving that in. Shot from Stern. And the boys come around and they chip that back up the ice, and there's going to be no icing on that. Trotherway picks that up. Trotherway cuts around the boards. Trotherway sends that over to Woods. Woods driving that up. Stern picks it up. Stern trying to get that up to McKenzie, and just goes a little wide of McKenzie, but goes into their zone. Omaha picks that up, and Omaha chips that out of the zone. Pens do get that out into the neutral zone. Omaha sends that back in. How? Headman's out to McKenzie. And Evans goes in, helps out McKenzie with Hewitt. And Omaha gets the puck and starts breaking that out. And the puck goes over to Evans. Evans sends it around the boards. Mosky chases it. And Omaha D keeps that in. Omaha tries to get that around front. It gets intercepted by Hewitt, and Hewitt starts driving that up the ice. He's going up with Mosky. Hewitt takes it around behind the net. Sends it out front. Puck loose. And Briggs gets that. Briggs starts driving that up the ice. Briggs with Evans. Briggs shot towards the net. Blocker save. Evans picks that up on the side. And Briggs goes in and chips that back in. Hall chips that up to Pilek. Pilek up to Mooney, and Mooney's tripped down. And Hall trying to get control of that puck, gets that up over, does go over to Briggs, and Omaha drives towards the net. Omaha with a shot, and they do get that in. So first goal for Omaha in the game at 11:01, and the second 4-1. So Penguins looking to answer this one back. Got Pilek on forward with Mooney and DiPietro. Puck drop, goes back to Stern. Stern chips that up the boards. Puck goes around. That's kept in by Mooney. Mooney going around, he sees Pilek. Pilek with a shot and pad save. 10:46 left in the second. 4-1 Pens, and the puck will be dropped to the left of the goal, to right of the goalie. Mooney facing off. Mooney. Trotherway keeping that in. And Omaha does get that out of the zone. DiPietro battling for it with Pilek. And Omaha does get that out of the zone. And they start driving that in. Omaha. Shot towards the net. That bounces across the top of the crease. And puck loose in front. And Trotherway gets that up to Jukes. Jukes driving that up. Jukes driving that in. And Jukes with a hit into the boards. Nice keep in by Snyder. And the boys start driving that up. Pens battling in the boards, and pinches in Trotherway, keeps the puck in. In goes Koussis. And the Omaha starts bringing that back up, and they start driving up the ice. Omaha does get a shot off, and save by Torriero. 4-1, 9:25 left in this second period. Facing off is Woodsy. And we got McKenzie. Puck goes over to Woodsy. Howe chips that up, gets that up to Mooney. Mooney start with the Jets. Omaha D falls down, and Mooney with a shot, another shot, and 2 saves by the Omaha goalie. Puck will be dropped in the Omaha zone. This is Woods facing off, McKenzie on the side, Mooney on the other side. Puck chipped around the boards. And Omaha gets it into zone. Howe goes in to pick it up. Howe driving that around. Howe cuts back. Sees Woodsy up top. Tries to drive that up to Woodsy. And that was touched by the Omaha player, so no icing called on that. Howe chips that up the boards. Stops the Omaha advance. Now Woods almost breaking into the zone. Some battling at the side here by Woods. And McKenzie. McKenzie gets that back to Howe. Howe driving that up the ice. Howe shot towards the net. And goalie punches that to the side. Omaha trying to break that out. In goes Hewitt. Hewitt separating the player from the puck. Gets that back to Howe. Howe over to Briggs. And Briggs with a shot up. Mosky to Evans. Evans up to Hewitt. And they start driving that in. And Omaha trying to break that out. That's advance, a stop by Trethewey. Trethewey driving that in on point. Trethewey. Trethewey shot towards the net. That bounces up and over. And Hewitt goes in, picks it up on the other side. Omaha does get that. Evan, nice transition there. And then now Omaha chips that up the boards. Chip up. Hall tried to chip that up. And shot towards the net. Blocker save by Torriero. Mosky chips that up the boards. Shot towards the net. And Omaha gets that back. Omaha passes it across D. And they chip that back in. Hall goes in to go pick that up. Evans battling with the players. In goes Trethewey. Trethewey sends that up over the boards. And Omaha tries to get a shot to the net. That gets stopped by Pellick. And another shot that goes up and over the stick of Stern. Puck goes back to Stern. Stern trying to get that up the boards. And nice chip up there by DiPietro. And finally Woodsy gets that out of the zone. Woodsy coming in. Hard. Woodsy chips that up. And boys battling. Boys get that back to Howe. Howe with a shot towards the net. Glove save, puck loose in front. And backhand in by Pellick. And that makes it a 5-1 hockey game at 6:24. And Penguins start driving that out. Chip in. by Stern. Omaha sends it around the boards, and they try to bring that back up. Stern sends that back in up to Koussis, and Koussis starts driving that in. Juxi picks it up behind the net. Juxi sends it up front to Snyder. Juxi drives that up front, shot by Koussis, and Omaha picks it up and starts driving that up the ice. How? Nice backhand up the ice. That goes up to McKenzie and Koussis. And they get that into the end zone of Omaha. Omaha trying to bring that out, and Omaha sends that over Headman's at and starts driving that up the side. And Howe trying to chip that up boards, battling against the two players. In goes Mooney. And shot. Howe gets that up to Koussis. Sorry, that was McKenzie. Whoa. Almost a shot there by Hogg. Okay, we finally got that up to McKenzie. McKenzie out to Koussis. Koussis up to Mooney. And boys go for a change there. And Mooney has around back up front. Shot by Woodsy. Just goes up and over. Nice pass by Mooney. And here goes Koussis. McKenzie. McKenzie sends that over to Briggs. Briggs, shot towards the net. Binged off the post. And that is icing at 4:05 left in the second period. Juxi facing off. Puck goes around the net. Omaha has that. Omaha chips that up. That's picked up by Briggs. Briggs driving that back around. And Juxi drives that around. And some battling in the side there. Omaha tries to get that out. Goes out into the neutral zone. Briggs picks that up, chips that up the boards to DiPietro. And Briggs trying to get that back up again. And Omaha stick handling that back up, chips that in. Chased in by Trethewey. Trethewey cuts back right away. Trethewey starts driving that up the ice. And Trethewey chips that in. Evans, Bosky, and Hewitt out. Trethewey keeping that in at point, drives that in. And Omaha breaks into the zone. Stern gets the puck, sends that around. Omaha trying to get pass out, but no defenseman there. Picked up now by Hewitt. Hewitt trying to headman that to Evans. Back to Stern. Stern chipping that up the ice. And 2:19 left in this second period. And puck goes back to Trethewey. Trethewey chips that up and over. And he gets that on the net. Pens go for a line change. Get some fresh legs out there. And Omaha starts breaking in. And up goes Snyder. Snyder with Jukes. And Jukes, Koussis, rebound. And Snyder and Koussis working to pick that up. They get that out front to Jukes. Jukes with a shot. That gets stopped by the Omaha player. Koussis comes in to help. And Omaha gets that out of the zone. Briggs gets that back to Howe. Howe takes a look, sends that to Koussis, and Koussis starts driving that up the ice. Back to Jukes, Koussis, and nice tic-tac-toe, and that was saved by the goalie. .1:15 at the end of the second. Hall and Briggs out on the ice. Shot towards the net by Mooney. In goes McKenzie. Nice save by the goalie. McKenzie chipping at it. And Omaha sending that out. Stick check by Woodsy. Woodsy checked into the boards. Hall goes in to pick that up behind the net. Hall chips that up to Woodsy. And that nice headman from Woodsy up to McKenzie. McKenzie back to Woodsy. Woodsy with a backhand to the net, and that got deflected by the skates of the Omaha D. In goes Mooney. Mooney shot, blocker, save by the goalie. And Hall sends that back in. Omaha starts bringing that out. Omaha gets that. They start driving that up. Send that over. And 7 seconds left. Here goes McKenzie, 3. And McKenzie with a shot, and that's the end of the period. So 5-1, so they tied that period. And good second period, but not as high scoring as the first. So gonna just pause right here. Hey, John. Okay, 15-minute third period, stop time. And boys will be out here shortly. 5-1 Penguins. Off the face-off, we got Jukes with DiPietro and Pielik. And then on the point, we got Trethaway and Stern. Omaha gets the puck into the Penguin zone. Stern sends that puck up to DiPietro. Puck goes back to DiPietro. And here goes Pielik. Pielik on the breakaway. Pielik shot towards the net. And goalie comes out and stops that advance. Nice chip over by DiPietro. Another shot towards the net. Jukes has it out front. And 5-1, 14-26 left in the third. Facing off is Evans. Evans gets that back to Howe. Howe slap, that gets caught in the shin pads. Another shot towards the net, and Omaha starts bringing that up the ice. Omaha chips it up in. Some battling in the boards there. Evans brings it out. Evans tied up. Evans chips that up to Hewitt. Hewitt driving that up. And Howe chips that up the boards. Omaha picks that up, starts taking that back the other way. Omaha driving that in, and that's picked up by Evans. Evans sends that ahead to Mosky. Mosky driving that up the ice, and Mosky chips it in. Picked up now by Omaha. Omaha. Sends that around the boards in their end. In goes Jukes. Jukes with the hit. And Jukes chips that back to Hall. Hall, shot towards the net, and that goes over the net. Kusis tries to recover that out the side with Snyder, and Omaha sends that out of the zone. Trethewey goes and picks that up. Trethewey cutting around the ice. And that gets picked up by Kusis. Kusis driving that up the ice with Snyder. And Kusis with a quick shot, rebound. And here goes Mooney. Mooney just fresh out on the ice. He starts driving that up, gets that back to Snyder. And Omaha picks that up. Omaha chips that out of his zone. Hall chips that forward. And offside. And the puck will be dropped at center. Mooney facing off. Mooney gets that back to Stern. Stern chips that up the ice. And chased in by McKenzie. McKenzie picks that up nicely, sends it up front to Mooney. Mooney. Woodsy with a shot, goes wide. McKenzie gets tied up. Woods goes to help him. Woods goes right in, shot, and that goes through the goalie's 5-hole, making that a 6-1 hockey game. Face off now by Mooney. 6-1, 11:27. Oh. Stern sends it up the boards, and that goes all the way back down. Woodsy facing off. Mooney gets that puck off the faceoff, and he starts driving up with Woodsy and Mooney. And Omaha turns that over, starts bringing that out into the neutral zone. Gets that back to Howe. Howe trying to chip that up to McKenzie, and that goes wide. Omaha picks it up into their zone. Back to Woodsy. Woodsy to... tried to get that back to D. That goes back out into the neutral zone, back over to Howe. Howe takes a quick look. Over to Stern. And chip up to Jukes. And that just goes offside as the Omaha player brings that in. .9:42 left in the third. It's running time because there's a 5-goal differential. Hall cuts back, chips that up out of the zone, now chased by Jukesy. Picked up by Pilik. Pilik over to DiPietro, and that just got offside. Jukesy facing off. That goes back. Pass back to Briggs. That goes all the way into the Penguins zone. Hall trying to drive that up. Gets it up to DiPietro, to Briggs. That goes to Pelech. Pelech driving that in the ice. And Omaha does get that out. Goes back to Hall. Hall waits for everybody to come out. And nice keep in there by DiPietro. DiPietro over to Pelech. And Pelech gets caught by the 2D. Omaha starts taking that back out. And shot towards Torriero goes wide. Picked up now by... Oh, Omaha with the break to the net. Shot. And Omaha passing it around. Shot towards the net. Pad save by Torriero. Briggsy sends that over to Hewitt. Hewitt with an open ice hit. And tripping called on that. .7:31 left in the third. Evans facing off. Power play. First power play of the game. Goes back to Trethewey. Trethewey. Shot towards the net. And big save by the Omaha goalie. Evans facing off. Evans back to Trethewey. Trethewey takes a look. And finds a shooting lane. Sends it right straight to the net. Gets deflected by the goalie. Hewitt back to Trethewey. Trethewey, another shot towards the net. That big save by the goalie. Pad save back to Stern. Stern to Evans. And back over to Trethewey. Trethewey with a one-timer shot. Goes wide. Picked up by Hewitt behind the net. Hewitt sends that back around to Evans. Evans back to Stern. Stern with a shot. And now back to Hewitt. Hewitt sends that around to Mosky. Mosky back to Hewitt. And goes back to Evans. And Evans drives that out. Shot towards the net. Just dances across the top of the crease. And Omaha trying to get that out. They do get that out of the zone. And Stern sends that back up to Evans. And no icing called on that play. And shot on the goalie by Omaha. 26 seconds left in this penalty. That gets picked up by Woodsy. Woodsy start driving that up the ice. Goes to Mooney. Mooney driving that up the ice. And Woodsy at the side there. Mooney. Gets that back. Wood, even strength now. Stern sends that back in. Woodsy. Shot towards the net. Goes back to Howe. Howe chips that back up to Woodsy. Woodsy. Shot and shot. And that's Woodsy. Or sorry, Jukesy who got that one in. Jukes facing off. Goes back up to Jukes. to Snyder. Jukesy, back to Howe. Howe, over to Jukesy. Kusa's out front. Puck loose. And that's the end. Or that's the puck drop, 3:38. It's running time. And puck dropped. Goes back to Trethewey. Trethewey with a shot. Pad saved by the goalie. And Omaha starts bringing it back the other way. Gets stopped in. Pelix sends that, tries to get that out of the zone. That's stopped by the Omaha D. Omaha. Pelix finally gets that over to Woodsy. Woodsy chips that up to DiPietro. DiPietro driving that in. Gets a nice clean shot on that. Pad save, and Omaha sends it to the outside. Goes back to Hall. And Omaha starts taking that back up the ice. 2:22 left in the game. Trethewey, headman's out to Mosky. Mosky driving that up the ice. Now, Hewitt in there. And Hall battling at the side. Gets up to Hewitt. And you get that. Trethewey picks that up. Trethewey gets that up to Hall. Hall sends that in.
No, sorry. Face, Reynolds, Shockley, Rockwell, and
1:23 left. In goes Howe. Howe goes over to Mosky. Mosky picks it up behind the net, tries to chip that up to Evans. And Omaha sending that out front. That gets intercepted by Stern. Stern over to Hewitt, and that does get passed up, and Evans with a shot, and that makes it 8-1 hockey game. Howe battling in the corner there. Howe gets that up to Hewitt. Hewitt battling that. Evans comes around, sends that over to Stern. Stern back over to Howe. Howe takes a look, sends that up to Evans, up to Mosky. Hewitt driving it in now, and Hewitt drives it towards the end zone. Pad save by the Omaha goalie, and that is the end of the game. So boys doing a great job, 8-1 win, and over Omaha, and then we'll be back tonight, hopefully in a different ice sheet, so we can get some better Wi-Fi. And there's the usual stick tap during COVID times, and that's the end of the game. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.